Welcome back to the 3 pillars of successful remote ESOL instruction. We're going to spend the next few minutes today discussing Pillar 2, communication. During today's brief video, we're going to take a look at communication plans and identify components of a successful communication plan, suggest ways to ensure students are aware of the communication protocols, discuss considerations when developing your plan, and introduce some suggestions for pre- and post-class ritual development. I take us back to the syllabus for a bit here as well, as many elements of your communication plan are key elements of your syllabus. A communication plan can be something that you share with your students as a separate document, that you embed parts of your communication plan into your syllabus, or simply include the needed elements of your communication plan in your syllabus, keeping the remainder of the document as your own working and planning document. A well-thought-out communication plan is critical, especially in a remote environment, and your syllabus provides you with an opportunity to clearly spell out your communication plan from day one. As the second pillar of successful remote instruction, the importance of the communication plan cannot be overemphasized. In discussing communication, don't worry about repeating yourself. Repetition is the key to learning and clarification. So if you are mentioning your contact information or office hour schedule in various places, the odds are greater that your students will remember and experience greater success in using the tools that you're providing. Again, the more specific, the better. Even though you have mentioned it at the beginning, virtual drop-in hours are worth mentioning here as well, or whatever means of meeting with students you choose. When will you hold them? How will your students access your office hours? Do you prefer appointment or just drop-in, or would you prefer students to come early to class or stay after instead of set office hours at another time during the week? Include your contact preferences and your time frames for responding. Just because we are remote does not mean that we are available around the clock. So set reasonable expectations that are workable for you while allowing students needed access to support. When are you free to talk to students, and how long will it take for you to reply? How would you like them to contact you? All are important elements of your communication plan. Other items to consider when developing your communication plan are: how will you keep in touch with students? Are you setting up a WhatsApp group, Remind.com group email, or regular text? Will you call students if they're absent from class? How often do you plan to communicate with your students? Once a week? Twice a week? 3 times a week? Maybe more. Staying connected remotely is really vital. Multiple touches or pokes a week are recommended just to let your students know you're thinking of them and planning for your time together. Whatever plan you make in terms of communication, stick to it. In a WhatsApp group, for example, you can send group texts or status updates that will communicate with your whole class at one notification. WhatsApp also translates into many languages, so it is ideal for ESOL students, and you'll find many have WhatsApp accounts already set up that they use all the time. During these times of uncertainty, creating rituals for your class can be really helpful and support that connection to your class and to their peers. None of the pillars we are discussing are disconnected from the others, so you can see where a communication plan also leads to providing a solid structure for your learners. For example, reach out to your students. Remind them that you're here and looking forward to class. Sometimes I call this a poke, although a nudge, reminder, save the date and time also works. Anything to let them know you're thinking of them and planning for your class time together. You can use whatever communication tool you have chosen, and students will look forward to hearing from you. Let them know what you are planning for a class. A little teaser. Use this time to let them know what's coming up during your next class. Send an agenda. Lay out your plan. Perhaps ask them to complete a brief assignment, 1-question poll, or have students take turns leading the pre-class check-in. Similarly, after class, send out a brief recap of the session. This could be a voice message in WhatsApp. Maybe they could respond via voice message or text and share something new they learned during class. Let this recap also include a reminder about upcoming classwork that is due, virtual office hours, class happenings. Using Google Drive, let them know you're including documents from today's class in there for those present and for those unable to attend. And toss in a reminder here about the next class. Reminder of the meeting time, the platform. Again, this structure and communication will make for a comfortable, reliable environment in which you can all operate. As a brief recap, during our video today, we looked at components of a successful communication plan, which include pre-class communication, post-class communication, teacher contact and availability, and a means and frequency of communication. We have suggested ways to ensure students are aware of communication protocols by embedding the entire document into your syllabus, by including a separate document clearly outlining your communication plan, or including just those essential elements in your syllabus. We discussed some additional considerations when you're developing your plans. How are you going to be communicating, and when and how often? And finally, we provided some suggestions for pre- and post-class ritual development to help with student comfort, structure, and engagement. Things such as greetings and agendas, post-class activities, reminders, recaps, teasers, and the use of Google Docs. We have now moved through 3 of our 4 videos in this series. Click on video 4 to hear more about Pillar 3, Delivery, and some closing remarks and teacher tips to wind up our discussion on the 3 pillars to successful remote ESOL instruction.